What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be playing something very interesting and unique. This is going to be pure modern. This is a tournament that Doomwake has put together, and the concept is we're going to be playing modern with the modern ban list just as it exists right now, but every card from Modern Horizons 1 and 2 are just banned. So what that means is that Ren and 6, all of the elemental incarnations, Ragavan, Ursa, all of these cards are just out of the picture. We're not going to be seeing any of those cards in this tournament. And what we're going to be seeing is like kind of a resurgence of old archetypes, hopefully. My expectations for this format are going to be that Grixis the Shadow is going to be one of the best decks in the format. That deck has basically everything that it had back in the day. So we have your Shadows, your Thought Seizes, your Stubborn Denials, and you're backing that up with Expressive Iteration, which is probably the best card in the entire format now that Ren and 6 is not a consideration. Now I think that that card is going to be the best in the format, Expressive Iteration, that is. So I feel like Shadow is going to be probably the single best deck. Then I'm also expecting to see some amount of Blue-Red Prowess. Same deal. That seems like an absolute great iteration deck. And obviously the Prowess deck is going to go back to its old look instead of something like Murktide Regent, which is what we see nowadays in the Blue-Red decks. We're going to be seeing stuff like Stormwind Entity. And then obviously Sprite Dragon. That's the 2-drop one. So those are the aggro decks that I expect to see. And I also expect to see a lot of stuff like Belcher or Oopsol spells. Those are basically broken because they have no cards from Modern Horizons, not that I know of. Maybe like Belcher has like some sideboard cards or whatever, like Force of Vigor or whatever, but those decks seem very, very powerful and very well positioned, and a bunch of the cards that actually answers and counteract those decks, stuff like Force of Negations, Force of Vigor, they're not legal. So because of that, just like we saw in the legacy version of this, which is the tournament that Anurag Das put together, in this tournament I expect something similar to happen. So we're gonna see how this works, and because of that, obviously I'm playing Amulet, like needless to say. I think Amulet is actually very good, like it's very well positioned. We don't really lose that much. We obviously lose Ursa Saga and Force of Vigor, but besides that, the deck feels very, very strong otherwise. And we do have access to stuff like Boseiju, which has been printed, since the Modern Horizons decks are legal, so we haven't really experienced playing Boseiju in a non current modern format. So because of that, we're gonna get to play Boseiju, Cassil, Garenbrig, Lair of the Hydra. These are some interesting upgrades that we've seen since then. And because of the format that I just described, I want to be playing some Karn. Karn, even though it's bad against Shadow, and I'm well aware of that, I am sort of trying to offset that by making my deck better versus the combo decks that I expect to see. And this is even stuff like Heliod, right? Like the Grimoire Heliod deck was the best deck in the format alongside Prowess at one point, and then all of the MH2 cards sort of rendered the deck obsolete straight up. So I expect the Heliod deck to also exist in this new format. And Karn is absolutely fantastic versus the Heliod deck. It's absolutely fantastic versus the Belchers and the Oopsol spells. And I think it's going to give me a pretty good chance versus all of the random nonsense, right? Like stuff like, I don't know, Dredge or, random things like that. Karn gives you a pretty interesting edge. Or at least it gives you a shot before you bring in your sideboard cards. When we go into the sideboard, you will see that I'm playing cards that I usually don't really like in my sideboards, and that is Elder Gargaroth in particular. I think that the non-existence of Unholy Heat makes a card like Elder Gargaroth significantly better. So I was actually considering playing a second Gargaroth over the Tireless Tracker. But I ended up going with a little bit of a split because I imagine that maybe somebody would want to play something like some control deck, and Tireless Tracker is kind of exactly what you want in that kind of spot. We also have access to Outland Liberator, the 4th copy of Boseiju. Again, I just said how I expect Belcher to be pretty good. Bojuki Bog, of course, fantastic land. And Wormcoil Engine is a card that has sort of disappeared from my actual lists, but in here, it's making a comeback mostly because of what I said earlier about expecting Death Shadow to be the best deck in the format. So Wormcoil Engine is a way to respect the Shadow matchup because I can play Karn. In game 1, I can just drop a Karn and then minus it to get Wormcoil and just, have the Karn die, whatever. I'm also playing 2 Explosives because of the Shadow matchup. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be looking at, and this is the deck I'm going to be playing in this event. If you enjoyed, let me know in the comments what do you think about the format, whether you thought it was interesting or whether you thought it was just kind of dead on arrival, because I could honestly see both sides of the coin there, but we'll see how it works. Please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. It's a way that you can support my content that costs you nothing. You can also, as I said, leave a comment down below. And if you would like to actually support my content with some ka-ching money, you can do so through Patreon. You can actually make donations or simply book a coaching session if you're interested in taking your gaming to the next level. Without further ado, let's be there for round number 1. Okay, we're playing round 1 against Mono Green Devotion. Very similar to the Pioneer list, but with modern cards. So, this draw seems interesting. If I had a green source on turn 1, or if these were like a Colony Garden or something that allowed me to cast Grazer onto, I think I would keep this. As is, I think I'm going to ship. I think we're going to 5. Unfortunate way to start the event. 4 it is. Alright, this is it. So I'm gonna keep these 4 cards, and if we find a bounce land, we're actually in very good shape because my opponent has no answers to... Yeah, they just straight up have no answers to an Amulet. Game 1. Keep this, bottom. Play my land, play my Amulet. Hope to draw a bounce on turn 2. My opponent also mulled to 5. Just the mulligan mirror match. No leyline for opponent. Birding Pool into turn 1. Noble Hierarch. Bounce land. Not a bounce land. Just gonna pass it back. Not much to see here. This is nice though, because now when I do find a bounce land, I can just drop a card as well, which is obviously pretty good. Opponent, what's up? Burning Tree Emissary. Okay, I guess we've received an announcement. Birds of Paradise, Boseiju. They play out the Boseiju? That's their lone Boseiju. Bounce land. It's not quite it. It's okay though. It's okay. My opponent doesn't have that much pressure. We really want to dodge a Carnigrade Creator. So we probably have maybe like 1 or 2 turns. Leyline of Abundance. Okay. So now that brings them up to 6 mana. No attacks. Okay. Well, here's my Azusa. If at any point I find a bounce land, I think I'm a very heavy favorite. My opponent has 3 Walking Ballistas main deck. I wonder if there's an argument for just like not playing the Azusa there. Although I guess if my opponent does draw if they do draw the Ballista, I'm screwed anyway. So any difference? There's the Karn. They -4 Damping Sphere. Okay. It's not that big of a deal. If we find the bounce land, we can still cast Primeval Titan. So we don't really care. I don't like that attack. Bounce land. 1 time. Easy. Alright, so we're not going to be able to haste. And we're going to be able to bring this Karn down to... We're going to be able to bring this Karn down to 2 loyalty, which means that if they minus to get coding, their Karn dies. So, yeah. Just gonna play Primeval Titan and develop our mana. Damping Sphere is gonna be a little bit annoying in terms that it's gonna limit what I do, but it's not gonna stop what I do. So I'm not gonna be able to play a Karn this turn, unfortunately. But I mean, I'm gonna have it 6/6 in play, so I don't know. That's pretty good, I think. That is pretty good, I think. So I'm gonna get Boseiju. I could get Boseiju Bounce Land. We already have a T-West. I can't get Vestige plus Vesuva. I mean, I really want to drop a card, because the only card I'm really afraid of is Walking Ballista. I guess we can do just Colony Garden Lair. Yeah. Tolera West is another option. If I get Valakut, that means I can double strike next turn, so that's also pretty tempting. Yeah, let's do Valakut, Lair of the Hydra. I'm not afraid of my life total, but this is setting up a double strike for next turn, and definitely I'm attacking the Karn, so that they can't metal coating me. Oh, yeah, they're gonna Snare and Bridge, I think. So maybe I should have gotten Boseiju, but if they Snare and Bridge, I can just Karn into... I can't EE. Guess I should have thought about this. Oh, it's not an Snare Bridge. And that's a lot smaller than a Primeval Titan. Let's see what they flipped. They did find a Nykthos, but they can't activate it this turn. They're 1 mana short of activating. Awkwardly enough, I think it's kind of interesting if my opponent plays they plus the Karn as opposed to minusing, because that kind of forces me to attack. Opponent finds a second Karn, and yeah, that feels like it's kind of good for me. Let's see what they find. Maybe Sundering Titan. They find Coding. Very interesting. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Untap, draw another Primetime. Okay. Draw another Primetime makes things more interesting. So I need to play through these dampings. What's the best way to do so? So I play this once, play this twice. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I have 1 land drop remaining, and I have a Celestial Sanctuary in my hand. We play Primeval Titan, find... I'm 1 mana short of blowing up the Damping Sphere and hasting Primetime. I can Pact for Dryad. I think I'm doing that. So we can get, I guess, Boros Garrison. We can get Boros Garrison plus second Tulare West. Bounce the Garrison. Next turn we use 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have enough mana to Dryad. And kill the Noble Hierarch and the bird. Tulare West. Boros Garrison. No double strike because we drew the second prime. So it's going to be 7 mana total. Opponent should not block. They have an easy double block to kill my Primeval Titan, but they should not block. Yeah, this is. I mean, I'm not really scared of any of these cards. I'm just going to kill the Cavalier. Just a bigger threat. And it adds 1 more devotion to Nykthos. So that seems like the better choice here. Okay, so they get Walking Ballista on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're only going to have access to 5 mana. Boros Garrison. Float blue. Bounce. Transmute. For Summoner's Pact. Summoner's Pact. Let's move this over here. Dryad. Play Dryad. Kill your Hierarch. This should be game. Mull to 4 beats Mull to 5. Mull to 4 beats Mull to 5. Blow up that one. Kill Burning Tree. And F6. Your go. Nice Damping Sphere you got going on over there. Nice Damping Sphere. I guess that's why they didn't get Sundering Titan, huh? Because the Damping Sphere literally locks their Nykthos out. I totally forgot about that interaction. That's funny. Okay, so... Game 2. I want Liberator. I may want Dismembers. I think I want 4th Boseiju over the Cavern. And I don't care about Lair. I guess I don't care about Radiant Fountain instead of Colony Garden. That's actually a green source. This gives me room for 1 Outland Liberator. I do think I want Dismembers on the draw though. So let's cut 2 Explores and maybe 1 Karn? Karn seems quite strong though. I don't want to cut any more ramp. I'll just cut the Liberator actually. Okay, so this is this is so close. This is almost a turn 3 Primeval Titan. I'm still gonna keep this hand, right? It's really bad into an early Karn, into Damping Sphere, but I think I have to keep this. I also have multiple draws that make this hand outstanding, right? Alright, no 1-drop is huge. No 1-drop mana creature, I mean, of course. Okay, there it is, Noble Hierarch. But this on turn 2 instead of turn 1 is okay. So let's play Lair, play Gracer, and drop Grultor here. Next turn, I am actually going to play Lair and Forest. This means that if I draw Castle Garenbrig, I can still cast my Primetime. Opponent plays Oath, number 2. which suggests obviously that they don't have another 1-drop. Wait, what? Oh, they were digging for a land. That's huge. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do what I just said I was gonna do. Because regardless, there's no other way that I can... There's no other way that I can do the thing next turn. Like, I cannot get to 6 mana otherwise. Well, kind of Primetime Flood over here. But if I draw a castle, or... I guess if I draw an Amulet, I don't get there. I'm still 1 short. Yeah, my opponent was digging for a land there and they whiffed. I mean, they're playing 19 land deck, but they did cast 2 Ponders. I wonder if they took... Obviously, we're going to attack with Gracer, you know? Not attacking with Gracer there. I wonder if they took Noble Hierarch instead of a land off of the first Oath of Nissa. Wow. Continue digging towards that second land. It would be kind of hilarious if they... Oh, wow, they whiffed again. Oh, okay, maybe I was gonna say it would be hilarious if they drew a Nykthos and they still can't cast their Noble Hierarch. That is brutal. That is so brutal. I guess I play into Dismember. Like, these 2 points of damage are just not going to matter. This doesn't add any mana. So I think I'm just gonna play this out and just hold up Boseiju. I'm gonna attack with 1 Gracer. This one's feeling first game, this one's chilling, you know? But yeah, if my opponent happens to, for whatever reason, have Dismember or something, they just kill my Lair of the Hydra. It's like a Stone Rain. I just don't need to run into a risk like that. And the reason I didn't Boseiju there, it's because I don't want to give my opponent more mana. The question is, do I Boseiju now? Like, if they pass the turn without playing another land, I think I'm supposed to Boseiju the Leyline. Because if I Boseiju the Leyline, that makes the Nykthos worse. The problem is BTE is going to make the Nykthos better next turn. Yeah, let's just blow up the Nykthos. It's bad. Obviously, it's very bad for me if they have another Nykthos, but not too much I can do about that. Okay, so they find Breeding Pool, find another Boseiju, and now we're going to start dropping 6 drops. Sup. Here's a Primeval boy. Let's get... I have Boseiju now, which is nice. Let's get Tularia West. Tularia West? Tularia West Growth Chamber. Bouncy Growth Chamber. I mean, I'm probably just going to be playing another 6-drop next turn anyway. So I guess what I want to do is I want to get... let's get T-West plus Garrison. Bounce Forest. And yep, this Gracer, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This Gracer is still feeling it. This Gracer is still feeling it. Good block. I like that. Good block. This is the beauty of Magic, dude. This is the beauty of Magic. Okay, they did indeed have a second Nykthos, so that's obviously bad. Like, that makes my play a lot worse. So they're going to have a ton of mana this turn. Probably not enough to start doing Ballista things. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm maybe a little bit scared now. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana? 10? Damn. That's a lot of mana. Kiora? Okay. That's a lot more mana. Just a casual 12 mana. No big. 14. Just a 7/7 Ballista. Don't mind me. Oh, and draw a card. And draw a card for good measure. So I'm going to be hasting a Primeval Titan here. Dismember is very interesting. Can dismember this. So I'm going to haste because it forces my opponent to use a bunch of Walking Ballista tokens. So Slayer Stronghold, Growth Chamber. And I'm going to attack the Kiora. Do this. Move to combat. My opponent's going to need to... It's going to need to bring that Ballista down to a 1/1. Yep. Activate Ballista a bunch. Oh, okay. Now we go to combat. Attack Kiora. Serve. And... So I can dismember... the Noble Hierarch, which is effectively 3 mana. Or I can dismember the Walking Ballista. The thing is that I don't think the Walking Ballista is that much of a problem. Because they're also going to have to throw a Burning Tree Emissary into the thing. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to do this. So, red mana, dismember Hierarch. And I guess I'm going to bounce to Tularia West. And if we do get to untap, we just win, right? I imagine my opponent is going to throw one Burning Tree Emissary under the bus here, just so Kiora can go down to 2 loyalty. So they're going to have a lot of mana, but I don't think it's going to be enough to kill me. Not through 2 blockers. And not with a Boseiju until they're West in hand and another Primeval Titan. So I think we should be in good shape here. My opponent definitely has a scary board state over there. They tap Leyline for 6, play Cavalier. Okay, let's see what they find. No Nykthos, so that's big. No Nykthos is big. They do draw a card though. As is, the most important thing right now is the fact that my opponent can't actually Boseiju here. They get to continue going off with Nykthos here. It's going to be 6 more mana, 9 more mana this time because of the Cavalier. Old Growth Troll. Fine. They have not made a land, so if they naturally draw Nykthos because they haven't made their land drop, they can play it. But now they're tapped out. Oh, there's the second Nykthos, never mind. As I literally just said. 16. I can't believe this is legally in Pioneer, man. Like every single, like besides this and this, every single one of these cards are legal in Pioneer. And like it's not like any of these cards are doing too much right now, right? Okay, we're suiting up the Ballista. So this would suggest that this would lock the Dryad line out, but we have Boseiju, so we can just... Oh, very interesting. They choose to go with Leyline instead. I think I'll just take my blocks. No reason not to. Okay, so now it's time to do some math. Oh, that's so much easier. Okay, so here. Discard Boseiju. Alright, they're pointing the pings at the Primeval Titan, which is an interesting proposition. I mean, not that it's gonna matter. 1, 2, 3, Dryad. Make some mana here. Play Primeval Titan number 2. Get Valakut. Go face a little bit. Always yes, always yes, always yield. Play that one. Gonna make some red mana. And attack them. Yes. Vesuva that. Kill that one. Kill that one. Oh yeah, my favorite thing just started to blowing up my opponent's stuff. Alright. GG's. That's round number 1. Okay, round number 2. Yeah, obviously it's an old ender, so we're gonna ship it. Okay. Okay, so what's the plan here? Oh wow. I guess I'm just bottoming the Explorer. This is a turn 3 Titan, and it's unfortunately the only way that it happens. So turn 2, bounce land into Dryad, play Valakut, or just get this Spell. Okay. Shadow is what I expected to be one of the, if not the best deck in this format. So that's gonna be, if that's what we're playing against, I'm not gonna be too happy because that has always been a bad matchup for Amulet. Honestly, having Darnasusa doesn't do too much for me. It's just, it doesn't really help too much. It just makes my opponent's Thoughtseize taking Primeval Titan that much better. Yeah, correct. This just has the Shadow, right? We're gonna see some pushes in action over here. Primeval Titan? No. Do I want to play around stuff like Call Against Command? I probably do. I'm gonna bounce and replay, I think, up to there. Man, Shadow is such a problem for me. Okay, Bolt, Detroit, the Asusa. At least I don't have that much of a clock. Oh, Angler? Hell yeah. It's been a while since I've seen a zombie fish. Well, that doesn't do anything whatsoever. But it's +1 mana next turn, so I'm gonna chill on it. Maybe they're playing TBR. I mean, they're probably holding counter. I guess I'm technically not dead, man. That's the worst. Being technically not dead is the worst. Means I need to continue playing. Okay, what do you got? Push. Okay, now I'm dead. Alright, so get these cards out of here. Tracker, Gargs, Bojuka Bog, Explosives, Wormcoil Engine. Yes, yes. Okay, I have to cut 2 cards. One of those cards is going to be Boseiju. Another one of those cards is going to be... What? Sunhome is interesting. Because I don't think I want to cut any of my spells. Maybe a Summoner's Pact? I don't think I want Dismembers. At least not on the play. Summoner's Pact. I really don't want to. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I honestly don't know what to cut. Maybe I should be cutting a land? Maybe Teleria West? But Teleria West finds me Engineered Explosive. I think I'm gonna cut Sunhome, as awkward as that might sound. Okay, another no-lander. You love to see it. You love to see it. I'm keeping this hand. It's not great, but I'm not gonna mulligan to 5 against Grixis Shadow. It's a hand that has some lands and some spells, so we keep it. Pass. Okay. That's an interesting draw, actually. So I guess I'm going to play that out in case I find exactly Amulet next turn. Opponent, end step, fetch for Water Grave, okay. Pass it back. Okay. Hey, look at that. Remember when I said in case I drew exactly Amulet next turn? Yeah, we're gonna float mana. And this is interesting, right? Because I can play Dryad Arbor, or I can just... I think I'm gonna cycle Explore first. Now I'm gonna play the Dryad Arbor, the Dryad Leeching. And I think my opponent's got Fatal Push over there. But that's fine. Yep, there we go. Dryad down. Play Scalding Tarn. They can play Big Fish. Thought Scour themselves. Alpine Moon. Naming Sanctuary. Okay. Big Fish. Yep. Leaving Thought's in the graveyard. I'm assuming that my opponent's gonna have access to... I think... interesting. Am I playing Dryad or am I playing Tracker? I think I'm playing Dryad. No more lands is unfortunate, but... like, Dryad survives. Lightning Bolt. And yeah, and this is why I was thinking that Shadow is gonna be the best deck in the format. Because, like, back in the day, Shadow was one of the best decks, and now they have Expressive Iterations. So... yeah. So, yeah. How lucky do you think I am, opponent? How lucky do you think I am? Because if you think... I guess they have to take the Tracker anyway. So I have 2 Summoners Pact. Take 5. You know what the worst part is? I considered... because I thought that Shadow was going to be one of the best decks in the format, I did consider putting a Chameleon Colossus in my deck. Imagine if I had access to a Chameleon Colossus right now. I can't pact for anything. I just can't pact for anything, so I think I'm just gonna attack. My opponent, if they had a Shadow, they would have played it last turn, right? So that means that they don't have a Shadow and they don't have removal. Stubborn Denial. So if I draw a bounce land, I'm pretty likely to win, I think. Unless their hand is like double counter magic. Second Fish. Yeah. Oh, that's rough. If they have stub, they should stub here. So there's 2 ways to go about this. I can just pass the turn, chump block, and blow up Alpine Moon on instep, or I can... I think I'm gonna do that. It gives me +2 mana, basically. So I just have to chomp here. And if they have removal, we lose. Okay. Alright, just Shadow doing Shadow things. Yeah, this matchup has always been terrible for us. And yeah, it gets a little bit better when we have access to like Urza Saga, right? In the current iteration of this format. But in the old school Shadow days, like it was always brutal. So, not surprised to take this L. Alright, round number 3, and we are paired against the Velomachus deck. It's gonna be creativity with like Velomachus and then taking a bunch of turns. That's what we're looking at here. This hand seems like it's not gonna cut it there, right? There's Leyline Bindings involved, so even if I do resolve this Amulet, it's not even guaranteed that it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna ship this hand. This one is better. This one's better, not by too much, but it's certainly better. And it has certain draws, right? Like, so if I find Azusa or Gracer or anything like that, we're looking at a turn 3 prime time on the play, which is where I want to be. I'm gonna lead on Amulet here, because if I find an Azusa on turn 2, I would like to Azusa or Dryad. That is. That's a Karn the Great Creator. That's not terrible. So we can play that on turn 2. Opponent's got access to 2 Remands, 2 Prismari Command. Okay. Interesting. So if we play Dryad, we don't play Karn. That is probably still fine, right? But I guess it's better to resolve Dryad than to resolve Karn. So let's just play Dryad here. 2 Romance. Do they have it? They do. Alright, so next turn we can prime time. And play Dryad on second main phase, I guess. Sure. So that doesn't really do anything, which is good for me. So here's bounce land number 2. And I don't even care about playing this Explore. I don't think so. Yeah, because there's... I guess I could explore into exactly Amulet, right? And I don't, so... We're gonna play this bounce land, play Dryad, play basic forest. So we have lethal next turn. If we do get an next turn, we're gonna have lethal. There's a Dwarven Mine. Do you have it, opponent? They have it. Let's see if they do it. That's time warp number 1. All right. Can they do that 3 more times? Pretty unfortunate that in the first one they hit the time warp, right? Because if they had hit it like a Savor the Moment and then they don't get to untap, then we know the prime time resolves and we can win from there. There's time warp number 2. Not much. Not the most interesting gameplay right here. Not the most interesting gameplay I've ever seen, but it is what it is, I guess. Fetches for a Triumph and untap. Still no white mana, which is interesting. Discard 2 cards to Fable. And if they attack with Shaman, I'm gonna kill it, but looks like they don't. That's it. That's the last time warp. That's brutal. They hit time warp every time. It's brutal, but it is what it is. Dismember, Boseiju. These are the cards that I want. Dude, like that Remand was so clutch. 2 Remands in the entire deck, but opponent did hit one of them. I think I want to cut the Karns. Bog doesn't really do anything. Liberator seems bleh, medium. Colony Garden seems bad. Radiant Fountain, I guess technically can give me 1 more turn. That's just not reasonable though. Let's see. Just got an Explore, I think, and call it a day. I could. Nah, Needle doesn't really do anything. All right, on the play. Opponent could have green mana for us, but this hand is a sketch. This is better, but not by a lot. Bottom the Stronghold. Turn 1 layer into Amulet. I mean, I don't even know if I should be exposing the Amulet, honestly, because of like stuff like K Command. Engineered Explosive. Okay, I guess there's no reason for me to play this just yet. Post sideboard, the opponent is going to have access to Cleansing Wildfire, and that's it. Wear Tear. Play out the Boseiju and say go. Opponent taps. Let's see what they got going over there. Just Triumph tapped. Primeval Titan. Okay. Let's play Cavern on Giant and say go. I'm not scared of anything right here. So I don't need to expose the Engineered Explosives. Opponent shocks, which probably means that they have Leyline Binding over there. Where would be a reason? Oh, Prismatic Command. That's a reason for them. I guess this turn I do have to play out the Engineer, because I just get comboed next turn. I imagine it's going to be a K Command on the end step. Not K Command, Prismatic Command. Yep. And they're going to draw 2, discard 2. This has not been a great game, gotta be honest. When Mulligan, our hand is not very functional, and like we're playing against a deck that we can't really interact with. This was far and away my worst matchup in the entire tournament. I was expecting people to bring Belcher and Upsal spells. I think those decks would be great in this format, but for whatever reason, people just did not choose to play those decks, which is surprising to me. Land? Growth Chamber. Okay. Guess we're gonna play a Primeval Titan next turn. I don't even know how good that's gonna be, but I can't Pact here, so I just have to hope that my opponent whiffs somehow. That's the game plan. It's not great. Maybe they brought in the Emrakul? That seems not good though. I think I'm gonna Boseiju the Fable on end step. I just don't want my opponent digging. It means that they get to... Yeah, they're just gonna get my prime time, but I mean, I guess that's fine. We do get to play around Remand at least, which lost us game 1. Here's prime time. ETBs, and now what? I guess we get Valakut and Garrison. Played a land already. Yeah, let's do Valakut Garrison. There's an argument for getting a Growth Chamber, just so I can bounce the Teleria West and transmute next turn. But I'm going to be able to do that regardless. Yeah, there's the Leyline Binding. I mean, I literally just bounced the Bosages, so I don't think this is a great play from my opponent. So they either have the combo or they don't. It's the only thing that matters here. Anything that's not a creativity probably means that I win. Savor the moment. Awkward, but fair. So I think the play, which is funny, is going to be to Pact for Dryad. That's the Time Warp? They can't, yeah. So we're going to cast a Dryad here. Summoner's Pact. For Dryad of the Elysian Grove, we're going to play Dryad. We're going to play Silencia Sanctuary. That blows that up over there. If my opponent wear tears, I will Sage the Leyline, kill him in response. I guess I can transmute here. I do have one more land drop. 1, 2, 3. Play out Boseiju. Kill that. And oh, I actually messed this up. What I should have done is no, because then my opponent kills that in response, so that's worse. So here's an Engineered Explosives, and that's going to be it. But I haven't, whenever I want, I have access to 18 points of damage. Savor the moment. I think that's just fine. Okay, that's the last card. So now that I know, now that I have perfect info, I get to just kill them. Yes, get Valakut and Vesua, and go face. 18, yeah. Boom. So I don't think anything changes here. Walking Ballista is kind of interesting. It's a card that I can play proactively and just leave it in play to potentially ping my opponent's dudes. So it's effectively a worse Engineered Explosives because it's a lot more mana intensive. I don't think I want that though. Maybe Radiant Fountain. But I don't think I want Fountain over any of my other lands. So I think we're just going to submit this again. Can we have a nut draw here, please? Not a nut draw, but it's reasonable enough. It is reasonable enough. So we have a Primeval Titan. Well, now we have another Primeval Titan. We have Gracers, which actually Gracer represents like an extra turn, which is pretty funny because it can just block Velomachus. Okay, so opponent plays Scalding Tarn and fetches. Okay, just pass the turn. Dryad. So if I play Dryad, if I play Dryad right here, my opponent gets to remand, but that's fine because that gets the remand out of their hand. So I think I'm supposed to play Dryad here. And then next turn I can go Gracer into... Now these remands have been huge. Then next turn I can go Gracer into... that was actually a bad attack. My opponent could now play Exhaustion, and then that messes me up, so... I got cute there, and I may get punished because of it, like an idiot. Growth Spiral. Okay. Fine, though. Cleansing Wildfire, maybe? Is that what's up? It is. Alright. Here's a T-West. Here's an Explosives. Here we go. Yeah, that Wildfire was very clutch. That Wildfire was very, very clutch. I'll block. Ugh, coward. That Dwarf is a coward. It's a nice draw. Here's an Amulet. Here's a Sanctuary. And I have to pass the turn with 2 mana up. Like, that's not really a choice. So I have to do this in this fashion, which is kind of awkward, but it is what it is. I also, as I said, like, Gracer just chumps Velomachus, so I do like the idea of just putting a bunch of Gracers into play. Okay, so opponent goes for create a treasure, blow up my... Okay, play that and just pass the turn. They can Prismari Command again and blow up my Engineered Explosives. Opponent's taking a lot of damage from their lands. They're just gonna hard cast a Velomachus here. Well, I guess I should have played around that, huh? I mean, I really couldn't though, right? Because if I play around the hardcast Velomachus, I get caught by creativity, so damned if I do, damned if I don't. Alright, what do you got, Velomachus? Time Warp. Yep. It's kind of annoying. So at this point, let's see what they hit. Exhaustion. Ugh. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna block that one. So I can't really crack explosives because I don't have any other plays next turn. Well, at least they didn't get another turn. So here, growth spiral, fetch for basic island. Just leaving fetchables in their deck, I guess. Savor the moment. Okay, let's see what Velomachus hits. So I'm not gonna get to untap when I finally get a turn. Okay, Velomachus did whiff there. Maybe I should have blocked there. I don't know. I feel like we do get a turn. We find an Asusa, which doesn't really do anything. That's the turn. I could play another Gracer, but if I play another Gracer, then I can't blow up the dwarves. Is that more or less damage? Who knows? The fairy. Okay. Bounce my Gracer. Let's see if they find the last combo piece, and we're good to go. Yeah, this matchup also has been always pretty bad. I feel like my read on the metagame was fine. It was just people did not choose the decks that I was expecting to face. So now we found ourselves at 1 and 2, which is unfortunate. And as I was dead for top 8 at 1 and 2 with not great breakers, I decided to drop. Unfortunate set of circumstances that happened. As I actually anticipated, Shadow was a very problematic matchup, and it actually proved to be the tournament is over at this point. It was won by Dredge with Shadow in the finals, and there were multiple Grixis Shadows in the top 8 as well. So yeah, no, I guess in that part my predictions were correct. However, nobody actually submitted Dredge nor Upsal spells, which is really surprising to me. I honestly think that people just forgot. Or people were too excited to just like go back to playing Dredge, you know? Which ended up taking down the event. So it would make sense, and it worked out. So yeah, if I were to play the event again and the metagame looked exactly the same, I think I would not play Karn the Great Creator. Like, I feel like there was too much Shadow, too much like mid-rangey stuff going on for me to be comfortable playing Karn, as opposed to more combo oriented like I expected it to be. But yeah, I mean, I would expect that if this were to become a format, it would adapt as time went by, and I think that you would start to see those decks rise to the top, right? Like, I think that, again, Shadow is far and away the best deck in my opinion, and then past that you would start to see more flexibility and more variation. You know, stuff like Burn would probably come back into the picture, and as I'm saying, like, I think Belcher and Oops would still be very, very good. But yeah, an unfortunate end for me, but it was fun to play in a different format, particularly in a time like now where I have all of these deck lists that I want to play that I can't because the cards from the new set are going to be legal on Tuesday. So I'm kind of, you know, messing around playing with my fingers like this because I just can't really make any other content. So this came at a crucial time, and I hope that you enjoyed it. It was a little bit refreshing. And yeah, without further ado, we're gonna wrap things up here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, folks. Take care, and bye bye.